Hi, welcome back. Um, I got a lot of flack for my last video. Apparently, the internet doesn't have much of a sense of humor on some things. Um, but I do defend the Common Core, and I think that bears a little bit of explanation. So, without further ado, here's some reasons why I'm defending it. So in this video, we're going to be looking at what is Common Core, why do I care, and what's my opinion. So, Common Core is a set of standards designed by researchers and teachers. Depending on the propaganda and who you listen to, um, the researchers might all be from ACT, or it might be a group of 5 people, or it might be teachers from every region. It doesn't necessarily matter who developed it at the end of the day. And the reason is this. That's kind of an ad hominem argument at this point. Common Core is a thing. It's here. Number 2, a concept driving Common Core is that modern families need mobility. It used to be the case before Common Core, and still is the case in areas that are not governed by Common Core, that if I move my family from Nebraska to Idaho, then my kids are going to be in a situation where they're either catching up or ahead of their classmates because the standards aren't the same. And this is becoming increasingly common. Think about the people that you've known. I'm sure you've probably known 1 or 2 people who've moved out of state and took their kids with them. Or maybe you know a split family that lives in 2 different states. If the kids have to shift states for whatever the reason, they're going to suffer because there's no alignment in the entire curriculum. And that's one of the reasons Common Core is important. Another important part of Common Core is that it represents a refocusing of education on 21st century skills. 21st century skills includes, but is not limited to, technology. A lot of times people just focus on technology, and that's not the whole story. A lot of 21st century skills deal with inquiry and research and how do we problem solve and how do we learn new things, how do we develop a set of learning skills. So why do I care? Most of the debate about Common Core has been super political. People ranting and raving about how it's controlled by Pearson and the College Board and all of this stuff. Well, yeah, that's true, and that's not great, but it's not at the substance of the matter. Pearson isn't influencing my students via Common Core. The students' teachers are influencing Common Core by the students by Common Core. Many opponents of Common Core have never actually read it, nor do they have any idea what it says. I have, every time I have a debate with somebody in Common Core, I ask them if they've read the standards. And I'd say probably 80% of the time they have not read the standards. The standards themselves are not necessarily bad. Negative comments and hate speak are not going to encourage people to rethink the standards. Calmly working to understand Common Core might. So here's the thing. It's not going to be helpful if you scream at somebody out a window that they are a hippy-dippy moron, then they're not going to listen to you. But if you say, walk out in the street and say, I understand what you're doing, can you move down the street or whatever, and they may respond or they may not. But you're much more likely to have results by calmly engaging the material. And just for the record, I received no money for any Common Core endorsement. I don't support Pearson or the Gates Foundation, who are tangentially related to Common Core. Um, I, I Pearson drives me crazy. The Gates Foundation is trying to do good, but it doesn't seem like they really get education very well. So, no, I don't get any money for this. I just want things to be successful in education. What is my opinion? Common Core is the current set of standards. It's not perfect, but like I said earlier, screaming at the wind is useless. It's fruitless. What I propose, and the reason I made my first video, is that if we understand Common Core, if we fully understand Common Core, can stand up in school board meetings and say, these are the problems that I have with Common Core. Can we fix it through implementation, or do we need to take this to the state level and ask the state to drop their support of Common Core and develop a new set of standards that more adequately addresses the needs of our children? If we're just screaming at people, they're going to think you're a lunatic and ignore you. I'm sorry, but that's the fact of the matter. So next steps. I'm going to be uploading some more videos about Common Core, starting with an introduction to the ESL standards, what they are, and maybe some critiques of those. I hope that these videos help you to understand what Common Core is and how we can make it better. I thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.